Hey, if you're like most entrepreneurs, you may be struggling to get to the next level, all right? And in this episode, we're going to go over some common misconceptions that will help you take it all the way to where you want to go, all right? So if you're ready to achieve your goals and your dreams, keep listening. Hi there, I'm Joe Silva. This is the Joe Silva Business Show. I'm so excited you're here. Very glad you're here because we're covering today some common misconceptions around leadership mindset. Right? A lot of business owners, a lot of entrepreneurs have certain ways of thinking around leadership mindset. And today, you're going to learn what those common misconceptions are. You may have some of those that are likely holding you back and how to move past those and actually understand the reality behind what it means to be a leader and shifting your mindset into stepping into your true leadership. Because whether you realize it yet or not, you are a leader. You're an entrepreneur. And by definition, at least to me, I don't know about the Webster or Oxford or any of those other dictionaries out there. I don't really care. At least to me and to you, you are a leader because you stepped up. You are inspiring others. You are doing something that most people do not have the courage to do. And that is a leader, right? Doing something courageous, inspiring others, and just doing more for the world. That is leading. All right. Most people punch a clock. Most people sit in a cube. Most people are being told what to do. Right? You, however, are an entrepreneur. You are ready to create impact, enjoy the freedom, and bring in an income at the same time, doing something you love to do. That, my friend, is the definition of a leader. All right. And so we're going to go through a few common misconceptions that I ran into these as in my business journey. So a little background on myself. I've been in entrepreneurship for nearly 20 years. Okay. So I've been doing this a long time. I've been coaching clients as well. And so I see this a lot. All right. So stay till the end of this episode because the last one especially is important. And we're going to go over what to do about each of these so that you can benefit. All right. Now, before we dive, I do want to remind you to subscribe at joesilvatraining.com/subscribe. All right. That'll get you set up with all the new episodes so that you get the help in momentum that you need in your business. All right. So joesilvatraining.com/subscribe. All right. So let's get to what we're talking about today. The leadership mindset, the misconceptions around this. All right. And there's a lot of things out there. And I am curious because you may have some that maybe I haven't heard, but we're going to cover the main ones that I hear with my one-to-one coaching clients when we're working through some of the things that are holding them back from achieving their dreams, right? When I work with people one-to-one, we really remove what's limiting them, what's blocking them, and start to move forward, right? That's one of the steps that we take together. And so these things all come out in that process, typically, right? 9 out of 10 of the entrepreneurs I work with, one of these things applies to them. And so you're likely the same way, all right? The biggest thing, the most overarching theme that this entire episode can be summed up as, that I typically hear is, I don't want to manage people. Right? Leading means managing people. And listen, I didn't get into this because I want to manage, right? Managing sounds awful. People, I just don't want to deal with people, right? You might be thinking that. Even if you have a team, you're like, oh, geez, I don't want to deal with these people, right? Like we've all been there. Okay, I get it. You can admit it. It's fine. They're probably not listening to this. Maybe they are, but it's okay, right? Even employees would admit, right? Like if they might have others on their team or they might have people that report to them, that can happen, right? I just don't want to manage people. But here's the truth. And you are probably starting to notice this. If you've listened to any of my episodes, right? And the fact that you're here, right? You're listening to me now, you're hearing my voice, and you're going to start to realize that leading is very different than managing. Leading is bringing something, someone, others to a higher level, right? It's influencing where they're at, right? Going from here, point A to point B. Leading, you're motivating them to move forward. You're creating momentum, okay? You're sustaining that momentum and you're enabling others and yourself to reach new heights, to reach their full potential, to do what they were born to do, what they are here to do. When others show up in your workspace, whether it's virtual or whether you have a physical office, wherever it may be, when they show up, you're allowing them space to show up as themselves to use their gifts, their talents, everything they have to create something new, to serve others, to live with purpose. And here's the amazing thing is, even if you're solo as an entrepreneur, you're doing this for yourself, right? You're leading yourself. You're leading your business towards others. Your business is an entity all by itself, isn't it? Right? This is a living, breathing thing. All right. We often hear the terms, oh, my business is my baby, right? That's a whole nother episode, because that's a mindset shift all in itself. But we personify our business a lot of times from a tax and legal standpoint, right? We have an LLC set up or a corporation set up separately from ourselves, right? Maybe you're a sole proprietor too. That's, again, a whole nother episode. But you can see clearly our business is something other than ourselves. So even if we're alone without a team right now, we're leading that business. We're leading that somewhere, right? So leading is bringing something to a higher level, bringing others to a higher level. Managing, on the other hand, is all about control, right? How something's done, when something's done, what is done, right? All about control. And of course, nobody likes to be controlled. I don't care what others say out there. It's very rare. Now, you have employees that are in roles that want process, that want direction, right? They want leadership. But likely most people aren't going to say, well, hey, hold my hand while I do everything every single day and watch over my shoulder like a hawk and make sure I'm doing it right. Like that's not what we want as humans. That's not how we develop as people, right? That's not how you learn anything, right? You don't learn to walk by somebody taking your legs and walking. You learn to walk by doing it, right? So managing is about control. Leading is taking people, including yourself and your business, to a higher level. That's what it means to step into leadership, right? And shifting your mindset around what that means is about more than simply managing, right? This is about leading yourself to do what you are here to do, your purpose in your business, which is a higher level than anything else out there, right? And when it comes to employees, the next level, and I cover some of this in my programs with my clients, it's all about self-management, right? Accountability, right? Creating a company culture where that is the norm, not simply about managing and controlling and overseeing, right? It's about your total business culture and what that is involved with doing. All right. So step number one here, point number one, leading, very, very different than managing. All right. Now, the next common misconception around leadership mindset is in reference to taking action. All right. And there's two sides to this coin. All right. So I'm going to go two directions here. So stick with me. All right. I will circle it all back. But first side of the coin is some people hear the term leadership mindset or, live your purpose and all this stuff. And they think, well, you're just floating on a cloud out there and I don't need to do anything, right? I can just sit back, I can relax and just think stuff and something will happen, right? Well, that's not leadership mindset, right? Some of that's needed. You have to strategize, you have to be strategic, you have to refresh yourself and get a clear mind, right? That's all part of it, but that's not everything. All right. So not taking action is not part of leadership mindset, or all of leadership mindset, I should say. Now, the flip side of that coin, the other side, a lot of the misconceptions is that a leader is a doer. All right. This is where I was when I started my business 12 years ago. All right. Leader is a doer. Leader takes action all the time, right? And leader never slows down. If I'm leading, I got to set that example and do, go, right? I need to be the one doing everything. I'm the first one in, the last to leave, right? I turn the lights on, I shut the lights off at the office, right? And again, if you're virtual, you're always available. You're always connected right here, right? Never take a second off, can never disconnect. That's a misconception about leadership. Doing isn't leadership, right? Because here's around all of this, right? We got the two sides of the coin. I should have had a coin with me. I don't, right? Where's my props? Usually I have some good props, but anyways, this is all about balance. All right. Yes, strategic mindset is a huge part of it, right? Overcoming blocks, setting your vision. That's a big part of it. Another part equally there is a plan of action, right? We talk about in my coaching programs, creating a map, right? You have a mindset action plan, right? You actually have concrete steps towards your goals. That's important, right? Be able to execute on those goals. at the same time knowing the strategy and piecing that all together. That is key. All right. So the misconception of it's one or the other isn't necessarily the case. You're starting to realize that you need both, right? Balance, as Mr. Miyagi teaches Daniel-san, right? Balance when he's on the boat, right? Balance is the key. Okay. Next misconception is that goal setting is enough, right? If I set my goals, that's good enough. And traditionally, a lot of coaches, a lot of books, a lot of seminars and things will teach you to write out your goal and, the steps needed. And then it pretty much just sits there. And when that happens, it's you get caught up in the day-to-day and you never look at it again. Right. Am I right? Has that ever happened to you? No, it happened to me. I probably got books and books of goals that I wrote them out and then I never looked at them again. Right. So the misconception here is that that's enough. Right? But you're starting to see how there's another step there. Right. You have to have this vision, right? And you have to make that vision real. Right? You have to step into that mindset of not just an analytical goal that's written on a piece of paper, right? The next step required is to see it, hear it, feel it, and be the person who is achieving that goal already. All right? Be that person who you see out there, right? And know and trust that that goal is real, that it's concrete, that it's a certainty, and that it is done. And there's ways we do that. Again, I work with my coaching clients on that. But the misconception is that, okay, if I just write my goals down, this happens a lot around the first of the year, right? I'll just write my goals down and I'll see where I'm at. And then you never do anything with it, right? Much more to it than that, right? That's not necessarily leadership mindset. That's an analytical side of writing something down, right? There's more to it within you. When you're really talking leadership mindset and stepping into those goals, that's when things become reality. That's how you make the impossible happen, or the seemingly impossible. Nothing is impossible. Okay. All right. Last one is things that are holding you back. All right. This concept that I'm just going to do. I'm going to plow forward and I'm going to hustle and grind my way to the top. Right. I'm going to exhaust myself and give everything I got, all my energy, until I'm out of gas. All right. And this is really about ignoring what's in the way and just trying to push through the wall constantly. This is very common in entrepreneurship. Again, I experienced this. I did this for the vast majority of, probably 7-8 years straight before I finally really, until I started down the path of understanding what this mindset shift was. I was stuck in that push forward, grind and hustle, right? Deal with the things that are holding me back later. I wasn't concerned with that. I was just concerned with plowing forward. It's like if you're driving a car, right, and you're just concerned about pressing the gas pedal, right? You're not concerned with how full is the gas tank. That's a problem, right? Eventually, you're going to run out of gas. And sooner or later, the successful entrepreneurs understand that this is about leadership mindset and shifting out of those limiting beliefs that are holding you back, right? Imagine if you're driving on a road and there's a barrier in front of you, right? How can you go forward? You've got to move that out of the way. Then you can go forward. All right. So you have to get things out of your way first. That's starting to become obvious at this point, right? How can you get things moving forward without getting the weight off you, right? Back to the car analogy. If you've got a trunk full of bricks, right, you're going to go either much slower, or maybe it's so full of bricks that it's, the car is bouncing and sparks are coming up when it hits the ground, right? And it's dragging along and it's slowing you down. Yeah, eventually, maybe you make something happen, right? But there's only so far you'll go with that. You take the bricks out, get them out of the trunk, and that car's going to fly to its destination and go much further, much faster than it ever would, right? So leadership mindset isn't about plowing forward no matter what. It's about removing what's holding you back so that you can go forward faster and further than you imagined, right? So those are the things that to recognize when it comes to leadership mindset and what are common misconceptions out there holding most entrepreneurs back. All right. Now, we covered leading is very different than managing. All right. That's a key concept. So I'm going to slow down here so you can remember that. All right. Leading is not managing. Leading is going to a higher level. All right. So we covered that. We talked about the two sides of the coin of no action and all action, right? There's balance there. We talked about doing more than simply writing out your goals. You have to embrace those within yourself. And there's a whole process I go through with that with my clients. And it's about removing those blocks, removing the weight, removing everything holding you back first. Most people wait to do that. Most people say, well, I'm going to plow ahead and then I'll take care of what's holding me back later. Well, if I'm chained to this wall back here, I can only stretch so far, right? But if I unlock myself, I can go as far as I ever want, right? You got to do that first. You've got to get rid of those blocks first. That's the missing step in most people, all right? And if you take anything away from this episode, take that away from it, right? That is the key component that most people, I haven't come across very many people that have realized that until later, right? So the entrepreneurs that are successful understand they need to release what's holding them back first in order to get their dreams. That's the key component, right? All the books in the world aren't going to help you. All the step-by-steps aren't going to help you until you're ready to let go of what's holding you back, all right? And those can be things like procrastination. It could be fear. It could be confidence. It could be lack of motivation, whatever it is for you, right? Those are the things that can hold us back within our own mindset. All right. And with that, I have specific training on that for you. Right. So you're in luck. You can go to my website, joesovatraining.com, and you can find free resources that will help you get started on that path to releasing those things, right? To stepping into that leadership mindset that you need, that the world needs, because what you do in your business is so important, right? Now, you may not know if my free training can help you expand and grow your business until you go to my website and download it for yourself. That's right. Go to joesovatraining.com now and discover for yourself how powerful those free resources can be for you. All right. So go ahead and do that now. See you on the next episode.